Hi guys, I'm Megan Brightwood and welcome to my channel. So today's video is a little bit different than the knitting content that I usually do, but my husband Joe and I decided to cut caffeine from our diet for the last month, and so I thought that I would just share with you how all of that has gone and how we're feeling, just, kind of talk about cutting caffeine. So before I get into that, I did want to just take a quick moment to talk about the sweater that I am wearing. So this is the Puntilla by Joji Locatelli. It is one of my favorite sweaters. I've had this for probably 3 or 4 years now and absolutely love it. So the original pattern does have an option to have some lace edging here and on the bottom hem, which I didn't do, but I really kind of like it. Just a nice basic sweater. I'm kind of thinking I want to do it again, and this time I would like to do a tubular cast off. So this one is just a traditional cast off. I didn't know how to do the tubular cast off at the time that I did it, and even if I had known, I wouldn't have been doing it correctly because it was just a few weeks ago that I figured out how to do it the right way. So yeah, now I could actually do it well, but it's still a really nice sweater. I really like it. It's made out of a Malabrigo sock yarn in the colorway Pearl, and I think I would do something a little bit different. I don't know if I would go maybe with a camel color. That might be kind of fun, or I don't know. Let me know what you guys think I should make it out of in the comment section. I would love to hear your thoughts on different colors that might suit my skin tone. But anyway, let's just quick talk about cutting caffeine from our diets. So just to give you a little bit of a background, Joe and I have both been massive coffee lovers for quite a while. So it has been part of our morning routine since pretty much day one. We would always make a cup of coffee and just lay in bed, kind of relax to start the morning. And that was actually how I ended up telling him that I was pregnant with our first child. I had a little paper cup that I'd written, "I have something to tell you" on it, and then on the bottom I wrote that "you're gonna be a dad" or something like that. It was pretty cute. It took him a little while to catch on, but yeah, it was coffee that helped me tell my husband that we were going to have a baby. And even since then, it's kind of evolved into when the kids wake up in the morning, then they come down here with their little water bottles, and then I'll make us a cup of coffee, and we still will just have that really relaxing start to our morning. And after that, Joe and I will both have a cup or two in the afternoon, and then I do also have a very sweet spot for cherry Coke. I love cherry Coke. I haven't had it for a month, but definitely loved that. My point is that caffeine was definitely part of our diets, and a couple months ago, we did start realizing that some physical symptoms that we were having might be related to caffeine, and we thought that maybe we should cut it out for a little bit and just see if those things have improved. So I don't want to talk about my husband's health or anything like that, definitely not my place, but I will talk about what I was feeling. So I don't know, I think I've talked about this. My family all had COVID back in October, and for us it was okay. We mostly just had fatigue and we lost our sense of taste and smell. I think that was pretty much it. And then a couple months after, so in November, December, December or January. I think it was December or January. Then I started to realize that I was having trouble breathing, which I think is long COVID. I have not been diagnosed with anything, so I can't say for sure. But yeah, so I was having some breathing issues, and I ended up talking to a mom that I know from our local MOPS group who deals with a lot of health stuff. And she was telling me that that's just kind of part of your body's defense system to really protect your lungs if there's been a virus that's kind of going after them. And what I realized I was doing was breathing the opposite way I was supposed to. So when you inhale, then you bring in oxygen and your stomach expands. And then when you exhale, then your stomach, flattens down. It goes back to normal. And I was doing the opposite. So when I was breathing in, my stomach was sucking in. And when I was breathing out, then I was letting my stomach out. I don't know that that makes sense. I tried to explain it to my husband too, and he had no idea what I was talking about. But yeah, so I was talking to her and she gave me some breathing exercises to try to help. And it helped a lot. I didn't really have any trouble after that. And I do also want to mention that this mom that I was talking to, it was just a conversational sort of thing. She does not deal with lung-related or COVID-related symptoms at all. It was just something that she knew a little bit about, so then she was able to give me a little bit of advice. It wasn't like I went to her for treatment or anything. I don't want to spread any bad medical advice out there, and that's not even what I'm trying to do with this. So I'm just trying to explain that I was having some breathing issues and they cleared up. That's my point. Anyway, moving on from that, then a couple months since now, so back in like March or April, I started having breathing issues again, and I didn't think that it was related to having had COVID anymore because I figured I'd solved that problem, so it wasn't a big deal anymore. But I did realize that it might be some panic attacks, I guess. So just like little mini panic attacks. And I don't want to say that I have anxiety. I don't think that it's that serious. It's definitely something that my family has dealt with, and it's for us easily fixed with exercise and healthy diet, breathing, that kind of thing. So it's not something that I need medical help with, so I don't want to label it as that, if that makes sense. But yeah, so I was having these like mini panic attacks and having trouble breathing again, and we wondered if maybe it was due to the caffeine intake. So with that, my husband and I both decided that we were going to cut caffeine from our diets for 30 days and then just see how we felt afterwards. So now it has been 30 days and I feel great. So I haven't had really many problems since then. Sometimes when I get a little bit stressed, I can feel myself tightening up a little bit in my chest, but that's, I think, more stress related than anything. And then I have also been running again, which has been really nice. I definitely like running, but it's hard to find time to do that. But anyway, yeah, so cutting caffeine out has pretty much solved my breathing issues as far as like having those mini panic attacks. So really liked that. And once again, this is my own experience. I don't want someone that actually has anxiety to be like, oh, I don't have to get help. All I have to do is cut caffeine out. That's not necessarily the case. If you feel like you need help, please go and get help. But that's what has helped me. So that's all I wanted to say on that. And then the other things that we have realized since cutting caffeine out is that we aren't as tired anymore. So in the mornings, a lot of times we really needed that cup of coffee to wake us up. And since then, there have been a lot of mornings that we don't even have a coffee right away. We'll wait until breakfast when we're up and out of bed and doing our day. And that's actually really refreshing. I really like that. And my sleeping patterns have greatly improved as well. So I am not someone that needs a ton of sleep. In fact, when Joe and I started dating back when we were much younger, I would fall asleep at like midnight and then wake up at 5 a.m. and be perfect. I'd be great. I wouldn't have any problems. And that was just kind of how I did things. And since having kids, that has changed a lot, but I am starting to kind of get back into my typical sleep rhythms. So rather than going to bed at midnight and waking up at 5, I'm going to bed at 10 and waking up at 5 so that I have a little bit of wiggle room just in case one of the kids wakes up with a nightmare or something. Then I can go up, help them, come back, and I'm fully rested in the morning. So that has been my favorite thing about cutting caffeine. And since having done that for 30 days, I think that we might be just done with caffeine, which sort of makes me sad because I do really like my cherry Coke, but if it makes me feel this much better, I kind of feel like it's worth it. So yeah, we might be done with caffeine. Having said that, both Joe and I are still massive coffee lovers, so we had to figure out something with that. And I know that there are a lot of decaf coffees out there, but a lot of them are already ground. But we did find one that we really like, and it is this one from Caribou Coffee. It's the Caribou Blend Naturally Decaffeinated Medium Roast Coffee. We love this. So we have a Breville machine that will do 2 shots of espresso in the morning, and it works really well. It is a little bit weaker than a typical cup of coffee, so we have had to up the amount that we use, but it's decaffeinated. It works great. We really like the taste of it, and so if you're interested in cutting out caffeine but you are a coffee lover, that might be a good route to go. So anyway, that is kind of my story about cutting caffeine out for the month. I really think that this was worth it, and we probably won't go back to caffeine anymore. I don't know, we'll see, but it's worked well without it. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for hanging out with me. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.